Good morning, everyone. Hello, hello. Let's get started. If you saw on Twitter, I'm going to change things up a little bit again today, going off schedule, so to speak. Yesterday, we ended with working on the workbench. We kind of cleaned up that authorization piece and minus some UI, UX tweaks that are mostly just going to be copied from Tailwind UI. The project is actually pretty good, like it's functionally complete. And I think to that point, what makes a little more sense today before I start like going in and refactoring and trying to use Livewire and all that kind of stuff, is to probably get the tests in a better state of the application. So like the test suite. Some of this was generated by Blueprint, but it doesn't seem like they run. So I think what I'd like to do is probably run the test generator from Shift just to regenerate all of the tests for this application now that we've added some new controllers, some new form requests, things of that nature, just kind of to get all this regenerated and get in a place where I know that like the coverage and the tests are there and start to get things passing. So I'll just, again, go for 30-ish minutes today. I want to start shortening the streams and focusing them on a single task moving forward. I may still continue to work on, project A, but I just think it's something where the 1 hour long me pecking around, I don't know what kind of value people are getting out of that, but I'll say for myself, they're not as fun. Like I don't really look forward to them as much. I don't prepare for them as much, which I guess is good to see like how I code in the real world or how developers just code. But like, I think if they're focused on a topic, I can give them a title and they might be more shareable or more applicable to viewers. So for those reasons, instead of working on Livewire like we talked about, and again, kind of muddling around and learning Livewire on stream, I feel like I'd rather get the test suite in a good place, do some upfront homework on Livewire so I'm a little more focused on how I want to use it in the application, and then of course arm with test to hopefully be able to see that everything still works or write some tweaks for Livewire specifically. So for those reasons, that's why we're kind of changing the schedule a bit today. Hello everyone, appreciate the waves. So yeah, I'm going to close the comments just to get some more screen real estate back and move this little picture-in-picture off to the side. So what we'll do is let's just go out to LaravelShift.com. I'm going to sign in with Git. I've got everything pushed up, I believe. Git status, yes. All right, so let's do a new shift and let's go down to the test generator. And this will be project A, main, all good. And let's run this. So this should run in the background. And since we're using a SQLite database, this should actually give me some pretty high fidelity in the test generator. Sometimes if you're using like multiple databases or Postgres or something along those lines, like you might have to generate the factories yourself. But again, let's kind of see what it does. There's always good comments in the PR, even if you did have to do some manual steps, but it seemed to have run on its own, so let's take a look at it. Okay, so it included some helpful testing packages. Those make sense. It updated, I guess, PHP unit. That's no problem. It generated 0 model factories, probably because the model factories already existed. So I should actually tweak that, maybe to, say, oh, you already had model factories instead of 0 model factories generated. Okay, so we got 7 controller tests. There was some overlap, so we got the .shift extension for the new one that it generated. So we should be able to compare these new form requests, telescoped, and then of course just a little upsell for the course if you're new to testing. So Laravel Shift factory generator. We shouldn't need to generate any factories, so I'll probably just drop that. Little cleanup on some test assertions, and then yes, it definitely generated the new test cases that we would want. So let's go back to the comments and let's kind of focus, and let's get rid of this one. And to that point, let's get rid of some of these other ones. So let's just start at the top, shall we? let's go here, git fetch origin, git checkout shift 541 blah blah blah, and then first things first, let's get the project open. Project A, composer JSON. Let's get rid of this generator, we're not going to need it. And then we'll run composer update just to fix that log file. I'm hearing some chat. Sorry I'm late. What's the project about? Yeah. I definitely talk about the project multiple times in earlier streams, but this is a photo sharing app, just kind of like a little private one I'm sharing with Ashley. May launch it, and so to that point, I want to generate some tests for it now that we're kind of more or less functionally complete. Okay, so we got rid of the testing packages, git add dot git commit -m, remove unneeded package. Cool. All right, next were the model factories. Let's make sure we do indeed have all the right model factories. And again, Shift would have generated this for us, but because we were using Blueprint and generated all of our code to begin with, this is good to go. However, let's do review them because we need to make these a little bit better. So we should say event factory, because now we're actually doing this with an event. We're pairing that up. That was something we changed, I think, yesterday. So same with event here. We've got a user factory. Visibility is 2 by default. We've got an upcoming state. So yeah, we've already kind of mocked these out to be like today and upcoming and whatever else. So I think all this looks really good. Attendee photo factory. So you upload as an attendee for an event. The path is a word, which is probably not awesome. I wonder if they have like file path. There we go. Let's see what that looks like. Renewed boolean, all good. I don't think we changed anything there. And then the base user factory that comes with Laravel. So we should have everything we need. If we go look at models, attendee event photo user, attendee event photo user. So we do indeed have all of our factories. They existed. Nothing to really change there other than making sure that our new unique pair of name and event ID happens for the attendee. All right, all good. Let's go on to the controllers. It generated 7. Okay, good, we know that. This is what I want to look at now. I kind of want to compare these together and choose which one we want, and then we'll start making tests pass. So let's get into the feature, and let's just kind of compare the work we have or have not done. So it looks like the additional assertions is already in here. We do have an acting as setup. All that seems to be pretty good on the right side for the existing test. So I think for those reasons, we will get rid of the .shift one that was generated because the test we have from Blueprint is actually better, and it looks like we've already customized some of it anyway. So let's review this. Again, show returns an OK response. So we already have OK response. So it pretty much generated the same thing here. That's pretty nice. So yeah, actually we got more or less the same code in this section, although edit displays a view. Oh, that's interesting. There isn't update redirects. That's interesting. So we don't have edit here, and I bet you the test generator missed that because attendee edit. I don't think it exists anymore. Let's go check that out. Let's prove that. So attendee controller, we just have show. We do have edit. How would an attendee edit themselves? Can you edit your name as an attendee? I don't know. I don't know if you should be able to do edit, to be honest. Yeah, I think this just kind of got generated from Blueprint and it's not something the application actually uses, which is kind of why I wanted to do this today, to clean this stuff up. I'm okay with an attendee show page, but like, would we want them to be able to change their name? Like, I don't know. I don't think so. You've been invited to an event. By the event, you know, you shouldn't be able to change your name. I'm going to say no. In fact, I'm probably going to go so far as to say this controller is entirely unnecessary. There's not even going to be an attendee show. When you're an attendee, you sign in, you upload photos, that's it. There's no cruddy admin-y section. So, see you later. You can always regenerate it. So to that point, let's clean it up everywhere else. So the attendee controller is now gone. And let's make sure it's out of the web routes, or web routes as well here. So let's go web. Where is our attendee controller? There it is, nice and highlighted. Thank you, PHP Storm. All right, cool. That should take care of that. Let's take a look at the event controller test. So again, a little bit better code on the existing stuff. Store uses form requests. They're just a little out of order, but again, I'm seeing more on the right side for all these things. Can you destroy an event? Yeah, I guess so. So again, we will keep what Blueprint generated because it's more robust. And the last one is the PhotoControllers. So again, I'm assuming we're probably going to keep what Blueprint gave us, considering it's more code. So we have create, index, create, store, StoreSaves. Yeah, we definitely wrote more code there. All right. So in this case, the test generator actually didn't give us any necessarily like additional coverage other than some of these new things we didn't have tests for, like register and so forth. So that side of it was good. Now, of course, if you didn't have any tests at all, you weren't using Blueprint, then this, would have been very handy. But I'm going to go ahead and add all the rest of this. So we're going to delete the attendee factory. Yep. We're going to remove that. All right, cool. Git commit -m, remove unneeded test plus controller. All right. Let's do vendor bin PHP unit. Okay, what do we want to tackle first? A lot of incomplete and broken tests, it looks like. I guess let's just start at the top, maybe? So let's do this. Stop on failure. There we go. Let's just start at the top. Why not? So we'll skip the incomplete ones for now. Let's just get the test suite passing. Let's try to do that. And then we'll see kind of how long that takes. So show displays a view account controller. Do we actually even have this? So let's trust, at this point we need to trust our actual code. So we do display a show for your account. Is that in the web routes? Account edit, account update. I do not see an account show. Why is there not an account show? And should there be? PHP artisan serve. I think you land on the home controller. Or well, no, when you, where do you land when you log in? I guess you land on the events page? Let's find out. I forget now. This is why we want tests. So JSON and then password. Yes, it's insecure, I know. Yes, you land on the events page, but you should be able to go to account. Oh, it goes directly to edit. There is no show. It goes directly to edit and you edit. So that makes sense. Okay, so that is a legit failure. We don't have show anymore, so let's clean this up. Let's go to resources, views, account. There is no show. So see you later. Again, probably something originally generated with Blueprint. Let's get rid of the show displays a view. There is no show registered here, but there is a show bit here. So there's just edit and update now. So let's kill that. Stop on failure. Okay, account controller test update redirects route account show not defined. Okay, and that's because to the point here, we don't want to redirect to account show. We would just redirect back to the account edit page. So let's fix the test first in this scenario. So we're able to edit. We see the edit page with the view. It has user. It looks like we do a form request. Looks like we fake out some data, send that through, refresh the user and make sure that it's all the same. And then in this case, we're going to redirect back to edit. And let's go ahead and like do a little assert session has for, I don't know, do we want to say updated? I guess let's just say like updated true or something like account dash updated true for now. Again, it's not in the UI, but let's get that happening. Okay, whoa, that's a massive error. What did we break here? Route account show not defined. Okay, that's interesting. It gave us such a massive error all of a sudden. So let's change this to edit. Did I change it to show over here? Yeah, edit, there we go. Do we need to pass? We don't need to pass anything. It's based on the user. Okay, update redirects failed asserting that null matches expected true. So I know, even though it's not the best failure message, I know that it has to do with this session has. So let's go ahead and tack that on here. So I think we can say with, and then account updated true. All right, event controller. Okay, so that one passes. Let's keep going. Event controller create displays view. All right, so we definitely should have an event create screen. So what's wrong here? Route get, assert okay, assert view is create. So let's bring up our event controller. Let's check out create. There's event create, nothing fancy. This should definitely work. Response code 200 but received 302. My guess is, yeah, we are not authenticated. So we need a user equals to user factory create, and then we want to acting as user to ensure that we're authenticated. There we go. That should save the day. All right, cool. StoreSaves and redirects failed asserting that actual size 0 matches expected 1. So StoreSaves and redirects. Uses controller validation, saves, and redirects. Okay, so we fake a name, we fake a slug, we fake a date time, we fake a user. So now we have name slug starts at user. All that should get filled in. And it's not finding 1 when we go to search the database. That's the problem. Failed asserting that actual size 0 matches size 1. So this count bit. So let's see what is in the database, because something's not getting saved here. Oops, event all. Okay, there are no items in the database, so it's definitely not saving. Why would you not be saving? We definitely have run this. Notifications, I guess maybe we need to pass these things too, probably. It's interesting we're not getting like a failure screen here though. I guess I don't really check the result of event create. There's no file upload either. I don't think you have to upload a file. I wonder what happens when this is null. Let's turn on exception handling and see if something's happening here. Or without exception handling, I mean. Unauthenticated. Oh, we're getting redirected. That's part of the problem. Okay. So let's say acting as user, drop that down, and I don't think we want to pass user ID here because I think it's just built into who you are. Yeah, we don't actually pass it as part of the form data. Okay, this should get us a little bit farther. Okay, and I think if we turn on without exception handling again, I would expect to see a database error here. The given data was invalid. Okay. You know, I keep getting, as a tangent, I keep getting the given data was invalid, even though I thought Laravel added something that when you get validation errors, like you're supposed to get a better error message now. Maybe that's only for API requests, but anyway, it's because we're not passing all this other stuff. So let's get this, at least these two fields passed, because they are required. So here we'll just say, I guess we'll probably just say notifications, and this will be visibility. And let's make these two fields. I'm going to move this up. Let's make a visibility and notifications. And what I'll do here is say like faker random element, I think you could say. Yeah. And this will be either 0, 1, or 2, right? We could actually do the same thing for visibility. Probably ought to enum those once we're on Laravel 9, but that'll help a little bit, I think. Call to member function store on null. Okay, that's actually what, it's actually good failure, because I was curious about that. If we don't upload an avatar, you know, what happens? Because this is actually not a required field. So, can we simply do optional here? And does it play on? It does. Okay, it found what we wanted. So that's a good test. We can actually write another test for uploading an actual file, which we'll come back to. That's a little bit dense, but I'm going to write two quick things here. So notifications, this should be notifications, and then visibility, and this should be visibility. So if it finds an event that matches all the things we expect, then everything's good there and it gets redirected. Cool. So now show displays a view is broken, probably for the same reason all the other stuff is broken. But before I move on there, let's do StoreSaves an uploaded avatar. And this will be, oops, mark incomplete. Yeah. Let's mark that as incomplete. And this is just simply TODO, doesn't really matter there. Okay, cool. So we got our little incomplete test showing up now, and now we're going to have a problem with show displays a view, because all this stuff relates to the fact that this acting as is not set up here. And this could be event user in this case. All right, edit displays a view, same thing. Acting as event user, got to be authenticated to actually do these things. Update redirects, okay, a little bit farther now. So we shouldn't need a user in this case. This should end up just being like, oh, you would never edit the user ID, so that's kind of weird. So same thing, acting as event user, And then we're going to want that same visibility stuff. Hold on, I'm here in the chat. I'll check that in just 1 second. Let me get this notification stuff up here real quick. All right, and let's borrow this, put it here, and then same thing down here. Instead of this user ID, we'll do notifications, notification, and we'll say visibility, visibility, notifications. All right, cool. And then I fully expect we'll have the same issue here, acting as event user. Cool. All right, let's run these. Event controller update and redirects. All right, so got a little bit wrong here. Null matches 159. Notifications, event. Is it not called notifications? No, oh, notifications. I didn't spell that right. Okay, update redirects, null matches 1, still 159. Oh, pff. Goofy. There we go. Farther along now. Now we're on the PhotoController. All right, let's take a break. I'm hearing some stuff in the chat. Maybe, okay, so maybe a assert OK or assert redirects. Sorry, I missed this chat a few minutes ago. Yeah, let me know what you mean on assert OK or assert redirect. Maybe I messed that up. Yeah, missing authentication. Cool, you guys saw it. Acting as. Are you using PHP 8? I think my local machine is still 7.4, but I can fire up Docker. It's actually 7.3. It's Mac. But anytime I want 8, yes, this will be deployed on 8. I can fire up Docker, but I don't like burning the cycles if I don't have to. So, especially when I'm streaming, it kind of Docker, resource hog. Anyway, let's get back to it. We're getting some places here. PhotoController test index displays a view. Oh, okay, cool. And what? Gershon, I think we said it was, maybe? I don't know. Phonetically spell it out for me. I want to get this name right. I want to nail it. I know I'm probably not going to get perfect pronunciation since I'm not from where you're from, but I can try. I can try to be better. Okay, photos, index displays a view, redirect. Okay, so this one is the one we probably want to do some cool stuff with, because photos index. Let's check the route bit here for photos. Photos index, I think, is behind. Where is photos index? Is it even listed? I don't even have photos in here. No wonder it can't find it. PhotoController? PhotoController class. Oh, it is a resource, event photo. Okay. So this is actually outside of the authentication, of Laravel's authentication, but it is behind our custom auth. So this is the one I probably want to slow down and take a peek at here. And this would be edit and update. Edit and update. Do you not see your photos anywhere else on the system? Or is that accept, edit, and update? Yeah, it's accept, edit, and update, so it has everything else. Okay. The simplest thing to do for right now is to just tack on, let's just do this everywhere so we can kind of avoid the annoyance here, but we can say acting as you're always going to have an event, I think, right? Or no? Yeah, you're kind of always going to, we could just say event user, so you're always logged in. But some of these aren't going to have event, so we'll just let those fail. Okay, so here, index is going to be an event, factory create the event. We're going to make a photo, and then we're going to make other photos for the event. So we basically make a photo that's not part of the event, I guess, to kind of demonstrate that like this one's not displayed. So let's just, I don't really normally like comments, but I'm going to put one here. So not displayed. So ideally, we would be able to pull this back out. But yeah, this is something I talked about in an earlier stream. This actually won't end up working because of the underlying database, I believe. It's a bug I want to fix in Laravel, but who has the time? So anyway, we get past index now because of that. So let's keep going down. Store, saves, and redirects. So create is good. It's one word, but you pronounce it as Gertjan. All right, store, saves, and redirects. Okay, so probably a similar thing here. You're not actually going to send event ID. Let's turn on without exception handling. Let's see what's going wrong here. Yeah, given data was invalid. Okay, so I imagine we're not sending in the right stuff. So PhotoController, store. Okay, so we're going to pull the attendee ID out of the session. The attendee ID is out of the session. This is where things get weird. And this is kind of why I wanted to write the test, because they're revealing some logic gaps here, we'll say. This particular page or endpoint requires you to basically be an attendee. You could not be the event owner or coordinator, let's call it, and upload your own photos based on this. And I don't think if we go look at photos table, yeah, see, we don't, it's not like we have like user ID here, right? It is nullable though, so the thought here, I guess, is that if there isn't an attendee ID, then you've kind of uploaded your own photos. I think maybe that's where my mind was a couple weeks ago. So yeah, that's kind of interesting here. I saw you use optional. Yes, that's actually a cool point. If we take, or well, I had the Laravel 9 shift up earlier. Now that Laravel 9 uses PHP 8, that is actually a automation as part of Laravel 9 that happens underneath, as it actually will convert optional to the null safe operator. So you're right, I could have used that directly, but again, because I'm on, I just want to be able to run quickly on the Mac today, I didn't write it that way. That also is a one-off task in the workbench. If anyone is interested in that, there is the optional to null safe bit here in Laravel. So it'll take that code and turn it into that with a nice little null safe built into PHP native operator. So that is another task you'd run in the workbench. So Shift's got you covered there, so that's why I'm not worried about it, long story short. Yes, I could use a morph table, getting back to the code here. I could use a morph table on the attendee, but I think this is an opportunity to build it kind of, again, as it is, test it as it is, and then let's kind of get it, let's add tests for the additional stuff. So this is definitely revealing a gap, which I should put in my little poor developer issue tracker here, but we'll say, what about uploading a photo as the event owner? So that's kind of an uncovered area. So for now, we're going to say there is no acting as, and this will be a good test of that middleware. but we will say instead, I think you say like with session or something, yeah, and you got to pass in an array, which is kind of nasty. But here we would say attendee ID is equal to attendee ID. There we go. Okay, so this time we're in the session. So the goal would be if we run this again, we would still get the given data is invalid, not necessarily a 302 redirect. So we should still be authenticated is the point. And we actually get a little farther now, which is kind of crazy because it's not null. So my guess is attendee ID comes across, which is not necessary. Path, what is path? Path is just like a word? That's kind of strange. How is Laravel able to upload a path? Reviewed is false, so you can't even pass that anyway. MIME type comes off the photo and visibility is passed in. An event comes off the event. So it's definitely not finding one of these, which kind of makes sense. So let's do this. Let's change this to visibility. And let's bring in our little visibility helper that we did before. Visibility. I gotta learn to spell. All right, and then let's visibility is equal to faker. Let's see, array, or sorry, random element. I think this was also like 0, 1, 2, right? We're not going to pass in reviewed anymore, and this actually needs to be an image. So let's fix that next, but for now, I'm only gonna pass in visibility here. Visibility and path. Undefined variable reviewed. Whoops. Drop that off. I'm surprised we're not getting a validation error. I would expect a validation error. Let's go look at our validation, because that feels like a gap to me. Yes, photo, required image. We're definitely not uploading an image, so that's interesting. Visibility required, roll in. Oh, this is actually different than the other stuff. That's interesting. So we should definitely be failing validation here. This is crazy, because I'm passing in like 0, 1, or 2. It should not match that. And I'm definitely only passing in like a word for photo. So this is strange. Is it not calling the right location? Yeah, this needs to pass in a photo. Photo. Yeah, this is weird. All right, something strange here. Let's, when in doubt, dump it out, right? Let's do a dump. What time's it getting to be? All right, I'll go for a few more minutes here. Let's dump request all, or actually, yeah, request all is good. Yeah, see, we're not even getting in there. Something is amiss. Something is amiss. What is amiss? We have without exception handling, so we should be getting validation errors. The only other thing I could think to check would be to come here and do a dump for rules. It's not even getting there. PhotoController test, save, stores, and redirects. Save, or store, saves, and redirects. PhotoController test. We are in the right spot. What is happening here? ghosts in the code. Hello. Yeah, we're definitely in the right spot. Okay. Why is it getting farther? My guess is we're getting some kind of redirect that's happening earlier on before this can fail. So I think probably what I want to do is assert, I'm going to assert these beforehand, and then we'll do some TODO photo assertions. We'll do that here in just a second. Okay, there we go. We're getting redirected to sign in. That's what's happening. And it's probably because our attendee ID thing is not working correctly. So let's go to our middleware for authenticated for event. Session should have that. So let's just dump request session. I think you can say all, yeah. Okay, we definitely have attendee ID. Oh, that attendee has to have access to that event. There we go. See, our middleware is working. Okay, so let's flip-flop this. Let's say event, and then here, or does attendee? I think the attendee factory actually makes an event. Attendee factory. It does indeed. Okay, let's do that. Let's just drop this, and we'll say attendee event. There we go. And this should also go to the attendees event. I don't know, actually, I don't know if I like that, to be honest. I kind of rather think I'd rather have them like be separate things. I do that in tests sometimes where I like being explicit with like the separation between things. Like it's fine for the event test when we were doing that, but I feel like that's a little cryptic, and I really like my tests to be like dead simple. It's a little cryptic that you're using the event for the attendee. Like it kind of implies that like an attendee owns an event, and that's, I don't know. It's true and it's false. It's just a gray area. Let's get it working. There we go. The given data was invalid. Cool. Okay, we're way farther along now. All right, that was the problem. Good catch though. So let's get rid of all our little silly DDs here. And let's run this again, and we should have nothing but... Okay, so let's finish with this part. I'm hearing some stuff in the chat. Do a dump after your post. Yeah, that's a good one. Let's do... Yeah, I could definitely attach the event there. That's a good one. Laravel, whoops, sorry, Laravel.com. Laravel. Oh no, where are we going to land? Don't do it. All right. Image upload, I think it was file upload, testing file upload, that's what I'm after. Okay, here we go. File fake upload image avatar.jpg. I guess that doesn't have to be real, I don't think. Okay, so let's fake a photo by doing that. And to avoid the overlap in names, let's call this image. Let's import Laravels, and then let's upload the image. Session has photo ID. Oh, that's why those were at the bottom. There we go. All right. And let's run this again. I would still expect a failure. Given data was invalid. Okay. I wish it told me, like, again, why. I thought Laravel cleaned that up in a recent version, or like a minor release over the summer, where they would tell you what was wrong. Well, let's finish reading the docs first, shall we? So post that. Storage disk. Yeah, let's add this too. That's a good one. All right. And we need to fake the storage, I suppose. And this will have kind of its own, I don't think we call it avatars, so what do we call it? Storage file key photo, disk photos. Okay, cool. So let's change our disk from avatars to photos. Photos. Okay, that should be properly faked out now, but I think now the issue is the image. The image is probably not awesome. How do we see the errors actually? How do we see the actual validation errors? Again, I thought, maybe I misunderstood, but I really thought Laravel like cleaned up that error response during testing. I'm not sure why it's not there. Photo. I think it only does it when you assert the response status and remove. Yeah, let's try that. It's a little fickle. I wish it told us. Yeah, see, this is just saying, hey, it doesn't redirect, which is not cool. Yeah, I guess we could dump the response and just see what's up. Yeah, that's not going to do anything. Dump session, maybe? Select visibility. Okay, select visibility is invalid. Okay, that makes sense actually. Now that we're seeing that, but see, I didn't think I had to do this. I thought Laravel, like when you got a validation error, and I understand that when I have that on, it doesn't do it, but I could have sworn it. I don't know what I'm missing of why I'm not seeing that, but I feel like I'm using it in a very straightforward capacity. So whatever use case is missing right now, I feel like should be covered. Okay, so session dump token. So it doesn't seem like we're getting any validation errors now. It seems like now we're actually playing on to an actual issue. So let's go here. Call to undefined method app photos has photo hash. Oh, I think we called this image. Okay, unable to find a file at path, blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, of course, that's not the right path. Yeah, that's definitely not the right path. But real quick, let's do photo, or actually, let's dump photo. What I want to see is, did this get saved with some cool stuff? And it did. It got an image JPEG. It has the path here, which is interesting. Did this actually get saved? I think Laravel just fakes all that out. I think the problem is I manipulate this, and it's really not that. It's going to be more like photo path. That's really what I need to check. There we go. All right, and now the issue is what? Show displays a view. Oh no, that actually passed. Check this out. I think we'll stop. Let's recap here if this passed, and we'll stop here for the day. So let's plug that in, and filter. Since I don't have descriptive names here, we're gonna have to filter within the actual file. Oh, duh. Helps when you give it a full path. There we go. Okay, we're passing. Cool. Okay, so here's the deal here. We're faking out the attendee. We're of course creating a attendee with the factory, and then we're faking an uploaded file for an image named avatar JPG. We're faking our visibility to pass in, of course, in this case, proper words. Now, to that point, we need to, let's say, use enums for visibility and notifications. That's just the fact that this is a string and the other one's whatever, that's pretty gross. Okay, we fake storage, particularly the photos disk, and then we call this with a session variable for attendee ID. That gets us past our middleware. Then we post the actual faked uploaded image here and the visibility here to the store endpoint. That should make everything happy, the form validation, the creation, and the redirect. And at that point, we get redirected to photos index for the event. And again, I don't like that that says attendee event, so I'll probably change that. We query the database for that specific photo with that visibility, blah, 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 blah. We could even go so far as to know what the path name is based on this, but we kind of check it both ways, so it's all good. We assert that we actually got one back. We get that particular first photo. We assert that the photo was actually stored on disk, which is awesome. And then we finally assert that there's a redirect. Now we could move this stuff up a little higher or move this back down, but we saw that having that assert redirect kind of saved us from getting in this weird place earlier where we were getting 0 and 1. So I think that's actually cleaner. I think the last thing I want to do is go back to having event be its own thing. So let's just say factory create. And I think in the chat, so first things first, anywhere we're saying attendee event, let's change that back to event. But now we need to make sure that this relationship exists. So let's just do it the old-fashioned way first, which would be event. I'll end on this. We'll say event. And let's make sure we're still passing. Good, we are. But I think in the chat, someone said something about has attached event. Has attached. I don't think I've used this. This is the new Laravel 8 fancy factory stuff that's going on here. So let's see if this works the way we think it does. Event. Let's format that. And we get a failure. App models attendee events. Is it has attached or like belongs to? Belongs. Has. Maybe? Has event? No. What is has attached actually doing? Define an attached relationship for the model. Concat has guess the relationship. I think has attached might only work for many-to-many relationships. Let's just look at that real quick. Factories. Has attached. Yeah, see, I think this is, that's not the relationship we're after. Let's look up a little bit at belongs to relationships. There we go. Good call. Oh, Gurjan, you actually had it. There it is. Pretty. Okay, so we're taking advantage of some new factory fanciness right there. Good stuff. All right. I think we're in a pretty good place here. Let's go back to stop on failure. We're definitely way farther than we were before, and you know, it's okay that there's some incomplete tests. So I think I'll probably finish these out off stream, clean up some of that UX that I mentioned earlier in the week, and probably after the release of Laravel 9, I'll try to do one more live stream on this where it's kind of in a better place. But I think after that we'll do more shifty things like we did today, where like I'm upgrading to Laravel 9, PHP 8, using the workbench more. It's more interesting to me to kind of demo those types of things on real world applications. So it's kind of the best of both worlds. So let's finish this up. Get add -u, get commit -m, and we'll just make a whip getting test to pass. Git push origin head. There we go. And with that, I will see everybody next time. Thanks for joining live. Like I said, I'll try to do a stream next week. Definitely something related to Laravel 9, you know, upgrading that with Shift and kind of moving forward with these tests. So thanks again. Have a good weekend.